Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things. And today I have three books that I've read from Netgalley that I wanted to tell you about. And I'm drinking water. And check out my lights. Okay, so the three books that I'm going to talk about um, are called Odin's Child, um, The Murder at the End of the I'm sorry, The Murder at World's End, and X Marks the Haunt. And these are three books that I've gotten from NetGalley, ARCs, if you will. This one's I know the last one I was like, about, but these ones are good. These ones were good. So we'll start with Odin's Child first. And this is by Siri Peterson. It says, imagine lacking something that everyone else has. Something that proves you belong to this world. Something so viral that without it, you are nothing. A plague, a myth, a human. 15 winters old. She learns what's her name? Hakra? Hikra? Hikra. Hikra? Oh, I don't remember how to say it. So she learns that she is Odin's child, a tailless rot. Tailless. She has no tail. From another world. Despised, dreaded, hunted. She no longer knows who she is, and someone wants to kill her to keep it a secret. But there are worse things than humans, and she is not the only creature to have broken through the gate. Odin's Child is a unique fantasy with Norse roots, written by Norway's fantasy queen, Siri Peterson, an epic clash of xenophobia, blind faith, and the right or will to lead. So this is the first book in a trilogy. What is the trilogy called? I forgot. I'm just gonna click through until I find it. Oh, the trilogy is called Raven's Wings, and so I really liked this book, so much so that I was like, where's the second book? And I could only find it in another language, and I was very upset that I have to wait. So this book was really good. Like it, just like it said, she didn't know that she wasn't who she thought she was until she was 15. And they have this thing called the Right, and they have like a magic system where you like draw from the earth to use some earth magic, and she's never been able to feel it. And her dad spills the beans, and like it says, he found her near a gate as a baby. And she's like, oh, that's not true. You're lying to me. I have the scars from where the wolf took my tail. And he's like, yeah, I made those. um, he's like, I couldn't kill a baby. And so that's how the things start to spiral. They are the healers of this town. And he has raised her to learn how to make things, using ingredients that people might need for arthritis or stitch people up or deliver babies. And then the right is about to have it's announced that it's here, and anyone of a certain age is to go. And he's like, we gotta leave, we gotta move, we gotta get out of here. And he's like panicking, and she's like, what are you talking about? Like, and then he tells her the truth, and she spirals. She just she just spirals. In fact, I think she goes and climbs a tree at one point, and he's in a wheelchair, but he wills himself out to where she is with an axe and axes down the tree that she's in. And she's like, you could have, I could have died. And he's like, I knew you could jump. I'm like, and she's always been the stand up for yourself kind of girl. So she's bold and doesn't nor like she doesn't like to be around people because that's what she's always been taught, but at the same time she will help someone in need. Like, there's a boy who's, I think I don't know how to explain what's wrong with him. Um, his power, you find out, was like taken from him as a child, like, and since then he's not all there. Um, I don't know if they really go into that, but ooh, his his mom's story. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you. That's a spoiler. Um, yeah. And then I don't know what he is. There's a group of people. Okay, so there's like the seer. Oh my gosh, it's hard not to just tell you everything. Okay, so there's a seer, and then there's like a council under the seer, and then there's their kids and grandkids. And so one of the grandkids was said to have been saved by the seer and all that stuff. And like, he's kind of special, and people are always like using his house name, if you will, and like give him more respect than he thinks he deserves. And except for her. Except for her. And she's like, and they had this thing since they went to school together. He's only like 2 years older. And they both had a necklace where they kept score of who won what and all that stuff. And it's really sweet when you find out later that they both still have them and both still wear them. And you can tell where that's gonna go. I'm not gonna tell you, but you can guess. Nothing too serious. It doesn't get that far. Um, and the end, I need the second book. Okay? There was only one way to save the people, and that had happened. And I need the second book. Because I need the second book. Yes, I liked this book a lot, and I definitely recommend it. Let's see. What more information can I give you on this book? It was published in December of 2023 by Podium Audio. I can't really tell you. I think it looks like the average is a 4-star. And yeah, I just recommend it. It was really good. I want the second book, and yeah. Moving on to the next book. The next book that I listened to, this one was called The Murder at World's End by Ross Montgomery. Um this one was a little bit different than something I would normally listen to or read. It was more of like Agatha Christie or yeah, Agatha Christie-esque. Okay, yeah. This one is published. Oh, this one gets published January 6th of this year, 2026. And let me read you the description I have here. Knives Out meets Downtown Abbey. Secrets, murders, and mayhem collide as this unlikely sleuthing duo, an under butler and a foul mouth I can't say this word. I looked at it. Octogenarian. um, hunt a killer in the manor sealed against the end of the world. In this locked room mystery, Cornwall 1910, on a remote tidal island, the Viscount of Tidlith. I cannot say that word. Oh my gosh. Of this manor, the hall, okay, is absorbed in a feverish preparation for an apocalypse that he believes will be accompanied by the passing Halley comet. The hall must be sealed from top to bottom, every window, chimney, and keyhole closed off before nightfall. But what the pompous, dishonest Viscount has failed to take into account is the danger that lies within. I'm sorry, I'm remembering what happened in this book. It was great. By morning, he will be dead in his sealed study, murdered by his own ancestral bow. All eyes turn to Stephen Pike, the newest under butler of the hall. Fresh out of Borstal, which is like a prison, for a crime he didn't commit. He is the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time. His unlikely ally, Miss Decima Stockingham, the foul mouth, sharp as a tack, 80-year-old family matriarch. Fearless and unconventional, she relishes chaos and puzzles alike, and the murder is just a thrill she's been waiting for. Together, this mismatched duo must navigate secret passages, buried grudges, and raise terror to unmask the killer before it's too late. Okay. So he got out of prison early because he was good. Like, he did everything he was supposed to do when he read his Bible and all that stuff. And so they released him to a halfway house that he has to end up paying for. And it's not really working out because nobody wants to hire a criminal. And he's like, but I didn't do it. And when you hear the story, you understand he didn't. Like it said, one of his neighbors was like, hey, do you want to earn a few bucks? And he's like, yeah, I need it. Because his Nana, whoever she is, his grandmother was sick and his mom wasn't there. And so they're like, all you have to do is come and be in the group when we go into this building. And like he's not told much of anything, and he's like, yeah, okay. And he's like 19. He didn't know anything. And so he goes in and a fight breaks out because this is a gang war, and he got stabbed, and while he was on the ground someone was coming at him, and he just found the first thing, and he was like fighting someone off trying to keep them from killing him when the police busted in, and he got wrapped up in all of that. um so it's not much of a spoiler. You don't really, bits and pieces throughout the whole entire book. And a letter comes in the mail to him, and it's like, go to this house, blah blah blah, you have a job, just say that okay. And so he travels. It's not, I think it gives him enough money to take the train, but after that he still has to do all the leg work to get there. And he has to, he's crossing, when he's crossing that the water, oh my gosh, what's it called? Because the tide is rising as he's crossing it, and so his pants get wet. um I just know he took off his shoes. um he gets there and he gives his letter to the butler, and the butler's like, this is a very interesting situation, because I am told not to tell my person that this person sent for you. And like, it's a like, what, how did you even get here? Because the Viscount was like, no one else is allowed on this island, and he had recently just dismissed all of the groundskeepers, and the staff is not very happy about that. Because just like them, the groundskeepers had been there years and years, and their grandfathers and grandfathers, and for this household. So it was like, what? And so everything's a bit crazy. And it just so happens that the butler's like, okay, I believe that you are reformed and you deserve a chance. If I turn you away, first off, you won't be able to get off the island. And second, who's gonna hire you? And so he takes him to the Viscount and is like, sir, remember your aunt? Well, we are gonna need some extra help for her. And the Viscount's like, what about that blonde girl that's been with her? And yes, she seems to not like her anymore. She was crying in the hallway. Okay, yeah, okay, he can help her. And at the same time, it's like, oh, cool, yeah, okay. And then, wait a minute, that's a maid's job. I can't be in a room with a naked woman. Kind of. He's like, wait. He is very modest, and he's very like, oh, cover my eyes when someone's changing, turn away. He's never had a girlfriend or anything like that, and when the chance comes to woo a girl, he's very bad at it, and it's hilarious. Anyway, but the aunt, the matriarch that he's supposed to be taking care of, she's like, this is absolutely absurd. So he's put in charge to help block up all of the chimneys. So someone is holding the board in the chimney, and someone else is like caulking it in or whatever, and like they're doing the windows, and it's like crazy. And when he gets to her room, she's like, this is ridiculous, and she's cussing. She cusses like a sailor. So if you aren't a big fan of cuss words, this is not a book for you, because she drops the F word so much. And towards the end, our main character Steven is like, there is no need for that language. He's like, um, and so after everyone, Steven has to help seal people into their rooms, and then he is to seal himself into her wing of the house, because she needs a wheelchair to get around. She can't really walk very well. He is he his room is right next to her room, and they can't seal themselves into their room in case she needs him. So it's a different situation than everyone else's, and he gets there and he's left, and there's no lights in this wing of the house. No electric lights, so fancy, like the rest of the house has been wired with. So he is given, like, the head butler hands him some candles and like a handheld torch thing, and he's like, good luck, and leaves. He's like, bye. And, and throughout this whole thing, every time the butler comes up, he realizes he can't hear the butler walking, and it's scary. Like, several times he like, whoa. And that's important. It's important. And then so instead of blocking them in the wing, the lady is like, oh no, we're not staying in here. If this is going to be our last day on this earth, I'm going to see the comet up close and personal through my telescope, because it's not going to hit the earth. She's like, his calculations are wrong. He likes to take my information and then change it. And it's very like, yeah, that time. And so he sneaks her out of the house. And it was just a really good book. And the whodunit, it is like Clue. It's like, oh no, that person, like, they create a board and they're like, well, this person could have done it. Oh, well, what about this person? Well, what about this person? Well, that person couldn't have done it because of this, you know. And at one point they even think that it could have been the child. The one child in the whole building, who is a demonic little kid, by the way. He scared me. Yeah, it was a really good book though. And I had already decided that it was one of the characters that he gets close to. But I thought that person, oh man, I thought that person was working with a different person, and then it was like, nope. And I was like, because that person I thought it was ended up dead. And Steven stumbles across them. And I'm trying not to say he or she, because it's really hard. And then I was like, whoa, maybe it was that person and this person that I think it is. And I was wrong again. So it was a good one. It was fun. And yeah, I definitely recommend that one. So that is The Murder at World's End by Ross Montgomery. Yeah. Okay, so the next one that I read, I'm really excited about this one. X Marks the Haunt by Lindsay Curry. Yeah. So this one comes out January, or came out, depending on when this video comes out, January 6th, 2026. And this is a middle grade horror. And okay, before I let me read you the little summary. Follow the clues to X marks the haunt for a spookily good mystery. Thanks to his mother's job at the local graveyard, 12-year-old Will Stone has some unique talents. For one, he knows exactly how a burial vault works and why they are used. For another, he is a great genealogist. He is great at genealogy and can decode century-old records. Not your normal everyday after-school activities, that's for sure. He's 12. That's not said here. I just want to let you know he's 12. He's like an old man. But has kid activities. But when a century-old crypt key is lost, his normally peaceful existence at Graceland Cemetery is shattered. Trees wither and die. The lake becomes covered with a sinister green slime that threatens to choke out anything living, and suddenly the graveyard's reputation is the only thing in jeopardy. Oh, isn't the only thing in jeopardy. Will and his friends' safety is too. Suddenly, Will is forced to consider that the lost key might be even bigger problem than he originally thought. A dark force has been unleashed within the cemetery gates, and when his friend Stash, Michelle, and Henry, along with his friends Stash, Michelle, and Henry, Will must use his unique set of skills to figure out which restless spirit is draining the graveyard of life and how to end the haunting for good. Yeah. So, I went into this one without even reading that, and, it was really good. Middle grade books just make me happy, okay? I will always, you tell me, hey, you should read this. I'll be like, yeah, it's a middle grade book, sure. Middle grade mystery, horror, thriller, I'm down. So this book is based in Illinois and, like it says, Graceland Cemetery. And, cool thing is, I lived in Illinois once, and I just have to say they got the weather spot on because, yeah, it'll be nice where you're like wearing a t-shirt and then it could be snowing the next day. And it's always very windy. So Will is not a very social kid. Apparently he's a boy. He does boy sports type things like him and his friend play hockey, street hockey, and they talk about it. That not in the book, they don't play it, but they talk about how they played it. And that's why Stash has a gash on his forehead, like a scar. His name's not really Stash, by the way. His name is Sean, and only one person calls him Sean, and that is Michelle. She is a big believer in calling everyone by their name. Not nicknames. And when the book starts, Will is rushing from where the school bus dropped him off into the graveyard past the people that work there, and one of them's like, hey, you want to come help me do this? And he's like, I gotta get inside. And he rushes inside because his goal in life is to take over for his mom one day or have a more reliable role in the cemetery. And he has started learning about genealogy, and his mom has been letting him help out on finding doing the tracing back and all that stuff. And he's taught himself how to read all of the old paperwork that's in fancy cursive, not just normal cursive, fancy cursive. And that's how it's said in the book. This what did he say? It was written in cursive, but not just normal cursive, fancy old fashioned cursive. And I'm like, okay, probably the little scratchy looking stuff. Um, and he has one friend at the time, whenever we first meet him, Stash. And so when he gets there and he, throws his backpack down, Mom's like, you forgot, because he has to ring the doorbell to get in. Mom's like, you forgot your key again. And he's like, and she's like, so is Stash coming too? Should I just leave the door unlocked? And he's like, no, he has piano lesson. And she's like, it still weirds me out that he plays piano. And Will is like, yeah, he doesn't like it. But his mom, they inherited their grandma's piano. Stash's family inherited the piano when the grandma passed away, and his mom is determined that someone in the house is going to be able to play the piano, and has chosen Stash because he's the youngest. Um, and so Will goes right back to the room that has all of the papers and folders and books and stuff, and he starts going through, and she's like, okay, well, I got some stuff to do in here, and then we gotta leave. And he's like, okay. And so he's doing he's like sucked in, and then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and they both like, and she goes, you said Stash wasn't coming? And she, no. Well, it is Stash. And he comes in, he's like, hi. And he like zooms past the mom, and he sits down, he's like, hey, you didn't text me back. You're not, I have been texting you. I even tried to call you. And he's like, sorry, I was trying to focus. And so he's like, have you looked at the paperwork that we were supposed to give our parents today? And he's like, no. And he's like, do it. And it just so happens that their school's field trip is for the cemetery. And he's like, no, this is bad. Because the last school field trip was for a funeral home, and one of the kids' parents ran that funeral home, and they lived at that funeral home. Yeah, So, the school bully had named that kid, like, that kid's nickname is now Body Boy or something like boy, something body related. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. I mean, for a 12-year-old, I guess I could see it. And so he sneakily waits until his mom is really busy, and is like, hey, can you sign this? It's just for school, it's for the field trip. And mom's like, oh yeah, they're all educational, and signs it, and doesn't even look at it. And that's so she doesn't even know. And it's not until the actual day of the school field trip and the school bus shows up, the mom gets on the bus and does this little speech thing, and she, be careful, don't hurt anything, and all that stuff, gave a whole speech. And she had like walked up and down the aisles, and the whole time Will is ducked down. He's like, please don't see me, please don't see me. And she gets off the bus, and then a few seconds go by, and she pops back up. She's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm whatever, Miss Stone, Janet, no, Margaret Stone, I think is what is it. And then the bully goes, hey, isn't that your last name? Is she like your mom? And because he knows that she's still close enough to hear, he's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? so he's like, but I don't even really, I don't spend too much time here. No, not at the cemetery. That'd be weird. Anyway, so they're put into groups of four, and they're given a map, and they're supposed to find these three tombstones, and then they have to look up the tombstones and find out information about the tombstones. And then the first group back gets a prize. Turns out I think everyone ends up getting a prize, but the first group back gets t-shirts. And they're it's funny because Stash is there almost as much as Will is, so he knows this place like the back of his hand too. And Stash is like, "Oh yeah, I've been here a few times," to the other two people, and the other two people that's in the group are what we think of as friends of the bully, until you find out that one is actually his cousin and the other one is like his neighbor. So they really have no choice but to be friendly to him, or else it gets back to their parents. And so the girl Michelle is like, I just want to beat him because I don't like it when he wins. He's a terrible winner. And so they're standing there, and they're like, so which one should we do first? And Stash is like, I think this one is way back there. We should go to that one first. And so they go, and they're looking at it, and information just kind of bubbles up and spews out of Will's mouth, and he's like, but that's just what I remember my mom talking about. He's like, and so they go through, and as they're looking, they start to become friends, and yeah, so something happens later. And the bully the bully tells, because by the time they're all done with the scavenger hunt, it is very clear that Will is a part of the cemetery. And so the bully is like, oh, you could easily get a key, and then we could come back at night. We can sneak in. And Will's like, no, that's bad. That's dangerous. The police could get called, all of this stuff. And he's like, nah, you know your way around. He's like, no, that the cemetery's closed at night for a reason. There are coyotes. He's like, and I think his name is Chris, the bully, is like, well, you can either help us or not, but if we, either way, we're coming back tonight. And he pretty much is like, we'll come back and break in and break things. And Will's like, I can't let that happen. So he devises a plan, that he's gonna give them the trickiest key to use, and it's the furthest one from the street so that no one can see, of course. And he like draws them a map to it, but it's dark so they can't use their phones, and he makes it as difficult as possible. And the bully the bully, don't worry, he gets his own later. But yeah, I can't tell you everything because that'd be spoiling. But it starts out like teenage boys stuff, teenage or preteen stuff, and it's really good. And I don't want to stop talking about it, but it's too new to spoil. Anyway, that's all I've told you so far. Is not too spoily. But they use all Will and his new friends, not the bully. They, like it says, they use their skills and work together to help a ghost or solve a ghost's problem. Who was desert I'm just gonna say it. The ghost was disturbed by the bully, and yeah, okay. Um, but you know, like in any true fashion who done it book, or you know, mystery Lindsay Curry book, they all live happily ever after at the end, and it's great. Um, but like I said, they're preteen boys. They're like hitting on each other and teasing each other, and they're just starting to like girls, so you know. Um, and it was just a really, it's they're always so cute. I love these books. Okay, X Marks the Haunt by Lindsay Curry is a definite yes, thumbs up. So I have 3 thumbs up books for you to check out. Um, that's all. I don't know what else to talk about other than I'm gonna keep about this book. Okay. So now, like this video if you like this video. Give me a thumbs up and comment below. Have you read any of these? I don't know how many of you have access to the ones that aren't out yet, but have you read any of these and what did you think? And now that I've told you about these books, do you want to look into getting them yourself so you can read them or listen to them? And subscribe if you're not sure if you want to subscribe. You can click my face bubble down here, or um, if you're on your TV, you click up to the little where you can like my video area and then go to my face circle. And check out my other videos. I do a lot of book videos. A lot. And share this video because sharing is caring and someone else might want to know about these books. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Highlights. Okay. I will see you on my next video. Bye.